Hey guys, this is SF and Memento Mori. Memento Mori, the third war god of the Monster Strike anime, and it is an impossible level. And my team's gonna be Sada, Ashura, Roma, and Coral Ascended. Sorry I didn't bring a max luck. I should have brought a max luck, but I wasn't really sure if I can actually be with this team. That's why I kind of didn't bring a max luck. I usually test the waters, and there aren't really crazy good max lucks out there, but you can bring Destroyer or Lilium. That's really good. But this stage is a little bit different because there are mines, and the onions and the mine machines can only be defeated by having a mine onto them. So you see, Ashura got a mine from Sada and Roma, and basically one shots the onion head. But for Roma, if he goes attack the onion head, it barely does any damage. And this is not like scorpions. It is basically that the onions have millions and millions of HP that you can't beat it unless you have a mine on them. That's why you bring mine sweeper. You need at least 2 mine sweepers. I think the safest is 2 mine sweepers, in my opinion. And as you can see, the onions will revive each other. And be careful of the bottom left counter for the onion head. It will do a Volatile Blast. It's not a one-hit kill. It does about 60 to 70k damage, but it still does a lot, and you can get whittled down. But first stage, basically have your minesweepers. They take out the onion heads and then take out the mine machines afterwards, and the counter will shoot up mines. So be sure to always hit them, and make sure you never kill the mine machines until for last, because you're basically going to kill your whole damage source, because they're the one who's feeding all the mines for your monsters to actually deal damage to the onion heads. But it's great to have 2 minesweepers and 2 non-minesweepers, just because the hard part about this dungeon is that you can only carry so many mines for a minesweeper monster. Your max is 4, and for phases like this when you have 3 onion heads, and whatever you hit will waste the mine if it's a minesweeper. So you have to get a good shot on them, and this is not a good example because I killed off the mine machine. But that's the hard part. It's just that you can waste your mine off of really silly things like either the mine machine or you hitting like the guy over there. And for this stage, you really want to pierce monster and then just position for one of the corners to just clear them off in one shot, like that. Coral being okay, and even if Coral can reach it, she could go to Roma and then grab a mine there and then kill off the onion head as well. But half of it is basically positioning, and half of it is your angles and your predictions. But make sure you always get those mines, because that's your damage source. And if it does blow up on a monster, it does about 20k onto per monster, even for a fire monster. So you got to be careful of that. And I'm just gonna hit Coral because Coral's bump combo is really strong. It's the rebounding shockwave, and it does a lot of damage as well. And it's not like a normal shockwave where it's not elemental. Coral's is a fire, so it does a lot of damage to fire monsters. And now for the mini boss onion head. Mini boss onion head has less HP than the normal mob onion head. So if you hit the weak spot, well, actually they don't have. I think they have the same, but the weak spot does do more damage to them. So even your normal monsters like Sada or Roma can actually deal some damage to it. So be sure to always give either, if you're on the turn of a non-minesweeper, make sure you give out the mines to monsters that need it, or when you're a minesweeper, then just use those mines that deal a lot of damage. Because having 2 non-minesweeper monsters is really good, because you can always hold those mines for later, or position those guys so that when the minesweeper comes in for the sweep of the onion heads, then they can use those mines as well. Okay, next is mini Memento Mori. For the mini boss, there's not much you can basically stay here forever, and make sure you clear out the mobs first, because Memento Mori does revive some mobs after 3 more turns, I think. No, 2 more turns. And of course, she won't revive every single one of them. So drones do act as a mob as well. And don't worry if you clear out the mine machine preemptively, because Memento Mori will prioritize in reviving the mine machines first. And Sanada got stuck with the meteor, and I'm just gonna stretch out with Usha just to mob clear. You'll get her stretch out back relatively easily, because there's not many one shots in this dungeon, and even if there is a one shot, you can basically clear out the monster relatively easily. And Memento Mori, the 6 counter, the 5 counter right now is a small Volatile Blast that's about 15k to 18k per monster that she hits. So it's not one shot, and it's very small, so you can always get away from it. But the hard part is just taking care of the Shadow Golf and not wasting a turn, because the meteors for this dungeon is relatively high in terms of stun percentages. So you might miss a turn, and then that's going to be really, really bad, because the only way you lose is you get whittled down. And Meteor, thank God it hit Asha and not somebody else. It is random. Okay, there we go. There goes Memento Mori. Okay. Now next stage is probably the hardest stage of the whole dungeon for a lot of people. And that is what I call the Bermuda Triangle, because that positioning of the onion heads is really annoying, because you can do that and then you just basically miss everything. So you gotta kill it in one swipe. And that's where a lot of people like get stuck. It's either the second stage or this stage, the 5th stage, that people spend the most time here. Because one, you don't really die unless you ran out of hearts. Second, it's so hard to clear because there's 3 guys and they're in really awkward positioning, and you need like a specific position for it as a specific starting point, whether you're a bounce or a pierce monster, to actually clear the stages. And right now Asha is in a very good spot, because she can shoot to the bottom right side for the closest onion, then just go like a W shape, and then that'll be really good. And Coral, that was just BS, because hit the counter from the mine drone, grab the mine, and then kill it using it. Oh my god, that is BS. But anyways, Asha, very good positioning. If you're a pierce monster, then go from the bottom side corners to get a good triangle shape, and then there we go. Like, it's all about positioning. Like, there's no other way you can make it any easier, because you can only hold so many mines, and you can only clear those 3 in one swipe. And just finish it off. Grab the mine from Roma, grab the hourglass, although she doesn't really need it. And my monsters are in a relatively good position for the boss stage, which she will be in the bottom left corner. So Asha is very good, Roma is not bad, and there are a lot of drones on the bottom side, so Roma is really good at clearing them. Okay, so just make sure you clear out the drones, because of course those drones count as revivable mobs. Next is Asha. I'm going to try to take care of the Shadow Golf, because the meteor is really annoying. Gaia, there's not much to Gaia as long as you just don't stay close to it. It has a short spread, which is really powerful, but it's not going to kill you if you just stay away from it. And the laser is not that bad either. And right now I'm just really scared that I might launch back and hit the mine machine, but it's okay. I didn't get the mine from Roma, which is kind of iffy, because next up is Asha, and Asha is the only person that can actually take the mine. But it should be okay since the drone died there. And then just grab the mine from Roma, and not bad. There we go. Okay, second boss is probably another striker's worst nightmare. Just because the onion heads move around. There are two ways of doing this, and that is using a Pierce Monster to take care of the onion heads at once. They do get revived, but you can last here a little bit longer just from the just because they don't shoot their Volatile Blast, and I missed my skate shot, which is not great. But even so, I didn't have the mines to take care of the second onion head, so it's not that big of a deal. Okay, next, just Sanada, just trying to get up there and try to do damage. Okay, next is Asha. Asha, there are drones blocking the way to Onion Head, and even if I go for the drones, then it's really awkward. I probably won't have the mines, so I just strike shot and try to get a pinch there and try to deal as much damage as I can to Memento Mori. Okay, and that blast killed 20k from my HP from Sanada. And this is me just saying screw it, I'm just gonna burst down Memento Mori before the Onion Head explodes onto the bottom left side. Next is Coral, and I'm just going to go straight for the weak spot. Straight for the weak spot. I have 3 mines, so I should be okay. I should have enough damage. There we go. That's just me saying screw it, because there's no way I can... There is a way I can use Coral to actually take care of that Onion Head, but why not just take care of the boss and don't deal with the Onion Head anyways. Okay, last stage. Technically, I should have strike shot with Sanada right now just so that I can clear off the mobs, but I didn't, and that kind of bited me in the head, biting me in the back later on, but it's okay. Just clearing off the nearest mobs with my monsters. Next is Roma, and Roma's gonna strike shot and just go crazy. Now, there's a special cool thing about Roma is that if he strike shots, and of course he launches everybody into position, launching everywhere. If that monster is a Minesweeper with mines, it can also clear off those onion heads or the mine machines that you just saw. So you either be really happy that it happens because you can actually clear off mob clear with during Roma's turn, or be really sad when they clear off a mine machine like that. But either way, it's not that big of a deal, and strike shotting with Sada, although I completely missed the weak spot. Okay, next is Ashra, and that's a perfect weak spot. Grab all the mines and deal around 4 million, over 3 million. And basically, your mine machines, keep your mine machines alive, and there's a heart, thank you very much, although I didn't really need it. The poison from Memento Mori is relatively weak. It's only about 3k per monster, 3 to 4k per monster. And finally, Coral strike shot works really well because it's the weak spot, weak point strike shot, kind of like Snowbow. And with that multiplier, with the mine multiplier, it does a lot of damage. That's why Coral Ascended is pretty OP. Now, this dungeon is relatively hard because if you don't have either of Agnama X, Apollo, or Coral Ascended, then you're most likely not going to win this. Asha is a little bit too slow for comfort. Some might bring it for max luck purposes, but I really don't recommend it. And to be your only Minesweeper, no gravity bearing monsters. But that's pretty much it for me. I hope you guys like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.